Hi, Easy here. Welcome to a discussion video. I'll be playing a clip of a Levanos clear, GR number 9, in the background. It's a 16-minute clear without any battle items. And the reason why I'm playing it in the background is because I want to bring up a point that a lot of people have been talking about recently. And it's a little bit touchy, but we're going to be talking about if the game is pay to win or not. It's not. If that's all you wanted, you can close the video. For a long answer, it's still not. Yeah, it's still not. Here's why. Here's why. Okay, before you say, "Oh, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about." Here's why I don't think the game is pay to win. Everyone has different definition of pay to win. My definition, personally, coming from a game that was pay to win, such as Blade and Soul, is that if a free to play player cannot reach the same level as a pay to win player, then there is some sort of pay to win element that's in the game. So if a free to play player can never reach the level that a paying player can in a reasonable time frame, then there is some sort of gap. There is some sort of pay to win element that's in the game. Lost Ark doesn't have any of that. Lost Ark really doesn't. I didn't put a single dime into my character's progression, and I got a fresh level 50 Battle Master from hitting level 50 on December 6th to item level 415 by December 20th. That's only 2 weeks, and I gained over 100 item levels. How did I do that without spending any money? Right? And I can talk about that in another video, but the fact that you can do that kind of stuff shows that the game is not pay to win. I didn't pay a single dime into my character's progression. I made all of the gold that I spent and all of the resources that I spent and invested into my character on my own time. Now, I play the game a lot, so everyone's going to have different results, right? Because I play the game quite a bit. And so you might not have as much time to invest into the game as I do. But I should progress faster if I'm spending more time in the game, right? I think that's a little bit expected. But my point is that the game doesn't have any ways for you to skip item level progression. It really doesn't have any ways to skip currently item level progression with just money. You can't just suddenly cash out $100 and be plus 50 item levels. There's no way for you to do that, because in order to do that, in order to get item levels using gold, you either have to buy treasure maps, or if you're really extreme, you buy raid clears, right? You pay for raid clears. But if you're paying for raid clears, that's a whole different topic. Like, you're not really playing the same game with the same mentality as most regular players if you're someone who pays for gold clear. That's a whole different topic. So I won't mention people who pay for clears as part of my conversation, but you can't skip item levels. What you can buy with gold, for the most part, for your character's progression, is treasure maps. And treasure maps don't really require you to spend money because you can get gold using other means. So where am I getting all my gold that I'm investing into my character? Like, how do I make gold? Because you need gold to do everything. Well, just go to Platinum Fields for 45 minutes and you get minimum, even if you don't do anything but turn in the relics, you get a minimum of 60 gold per run. Okay? Because of the platinum tokens that you get. So on average, you'll get between 4 to 20 tokens. So on average, you'll get around 10 to 12. And 10 to 12 tokens get you 3 of the blue 45% potions, which sell for about 20 gold per pop on an auction house. So that's 60 gold right there for turning in 4 relics that just randomly spawn in platinum fields. You don't even have to have rank 4 life skill. You can just go into one of the platinum fields, just dig around, and it just pops up. So go to Roana's, just whack at a tree, whack at a bush, whack at a rock, and it pops up. You just turn it in 4 times and you make 60 gold. if you do have invested life skillers, then you're going to make even more gold because you're getting the battle item materials as well as the rank 4, rank 5, rank 6 materials, and so much more from participating in platinum fields. And guess what? Platinum fields only take 45 minutes a day. If you can't invest 45 minutes a day into making gold for your character, I don't really see how someone can complain about that the game is pay to win and you can't make gold without paying money. I just can't really see how someone can make that argument. Even if you don't like platinum fields, you can do cube runs. If you do cube runs, you get gold. You get shillings and gold for doing cube runs. If you do gold cube boxes, you get about 50 gold. If you do platinum, you get about 100 gold. And if you do diamond, you get about 150 gold, right? So if you just bring together a coordinated group of 4 and you consistently do cube runs every single day, and you do diamond, for example, let's say diamond, you're making 450 gold per day for doing cube runs. If you go to an island, let's say there's an event, right? PvP island events. If you just go to the island and participate, you can make 200 gold. I just fail to understand how people can say that there is no way to make gold and there is no way to purchase these treasure maps when there's so many avenues of making gold. I'll give you another example. If you guys see on the region chat when you're sailing, there's people selling map spots. Some of those maps are gold maps, meaning they'll drop gold. So you pay gold to the player to get in, and then you get gold back. And most of the time, the prices of these maps are set so that you will always make gold after you pay. So you pay 60 gold, and you'll probably get around 100 gold. So there is ways to infinitely make money as long as you're just investing time. So that argument that the game is inapproachable because there's just too much things to spend gold on, and that you have to pay money in order to get gold, it just doesn't really hold up because there's so many ways of making gold. Next thing is like battle items. I think people who aren't I'm sure you guys have heard about how you absolutely need these strong battle items. You absolutely need Molotovs to clear Levanos GR9, and you need fire weapon and whatnot. Well, here's the reality: you do need fire weapon. You do need fire weapon, but fire weapon currently, after they changed the drop rate of the epic materials for miner, is down from 1500 gold to 400 gold on my server. It's going to be different for everyone, but just to give you an example, on my server specifically, it's down 33%. Like, it's down to 33% of the original value. So fire weapon or any elemental weapon isn't really that expensive, right? I don't think 400 gold invested into a weapon is that expensive, right? Because it's going to serve you for every single clear of GR9 and GR10. You're using fire weapon for GR9, GR10 every single run. So every single run, the amount that you invested into your fire weapon is getting cheaper and cheaper. So you should be making fire weapon anyway. So I don't really see why that's part of an argument. Next up is battle items. People say you have to bring Molotovs. You have to bring expensive potions. You have to bring all of this. The only battle items you really need for Levanos, to give you an example, is probably 45% potions, which you can get for free from platinum fields. I have hundreds of those, and I haven't bought any of them. You also need some bombs, but you can just supplement the expensive 20 gold bombs with the cheap training ones that you can buy for shillings, and use the green corrosive grenades to make them a little bit more effective. And that's corrosive grenades are only like 5 gold on my server, so that's already only like 5 gold per investment. You might need some signal flares, you might need taunt totems, but all of those are just chump change for the most part. You're not spending hundreds and hundreds of gold per attempt. If you want to count health potions, then maybe, but you really aren't using hundreds and hundreds of gold per attempt, or even thousands like people are saying. You do need a coordinated group. That's what's important. A coordinated group is going to be more valuable than just some battle item. You might need it to do pug clears. That is true. You might need it to do pug clears. If you're pugging, then you can't really compare yourself to players who are grouping up and running as a static. They're just playing a different game. So the argument that you need those battle items isn't really necessarily true. You can clear bosses without them. In fact, my first clear of Levanos, which was in a pug party, no one was using any expensive battle items. Hell, like even one of our devil hunters was using a 15% potion. All you really need is to see if you need to improve. That's what it really means. If you're not clearing the bosses without battle items, like if without the DPS battle items that are expensive, then you just really need to take a look at your party or yourself and see if there are ways that you can improve yourself in terms of your skill. Are you positioning correctly? Are you using the right skills? Are you using them in the right sequence? Are you keeping your eye out for dangerous things that you might need to pay attention to? Are you keeping track of your party buffs? Are you keeping track of what your teammates are doing? All of these things can impact your performance. And all of those things will determine if you can clear the boss or not. And if you don't think you can clear the boss without those battle items, and you absolutely just can't learn anymore, then that might be your ceiling. And that's perfectly fine. But if you're going to parties and people are demanding that you have those items, the people who are demanding it are just exposing to you the fact that they are not as skilled and that they just are incapable of clearing the boss without those battle items. And in that case, I wouldn't join that party because I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it to join those parties. And if that means that I don't get a clear for the day, then so what? Then it's just a game. But the fact that people say that the game is pay to win because you need these battle items just doesn't really hold up, because I am showing you a clip of my 16-minute clear with a Battle Master, Warlord, Bard, and Hawkeye. We're clearing in 16 minutes without Molotovs, which are the most probably the biggest offender of the whole battle item is expensive discussion, right? You don't need it. You really don't. So to summarize everything that I was talking about, I did ramble quite a bit about battle items. Can get all of the resources through just gameplay. Just go to Platinum Fields, spend 45 minutes a day, do Platinum Fields. You will understand what I'm talking about. You will understand why I say the game isn't pay to win, because you can get so much from Platinum Fields. Battle items aren't really that pay to win because you don't need them. You don't need them. You really don't. There are some mandatory battle items that I really suggest you guys take, such as health potions, bombs if they're mandatory, maybe campfires, maybe signal flares. But you don't need those 50 gold items that give you DPS, because you just don't need all of that DPS. All of the battle items that I recommend are for survivability. They're for survivability because you need to survive more than you need to DPS. And if you're lacking DPS, it just means that you need to look at what you're doing a little bit better and maybe play with a little bit more risk. Because if you're just sitting around the corner and saying, "Oh, but I'm not dying," you're not doing damage either. You're not helping out the team. So there are so many ways to look at this discussion, and so many ways that people will try to say the game is pay to win. But in the current state of where game stands, I just don't see how the game is that pay to win. I just don't. Because there's so many ways to make gold, and there's so many ways to not spend gold so that you can have more gold to spend on other things. So I hope you guys kind of got a sense of what I was talking about and my perspective on this. I did ramble a bit, but I do hope you guys kind of got a good picture of the game from a pretty high item level player's perspective. The game is much different when you're 460 plus, but majority of the players aren't there, so you don't really have to worry about that. As for the clear video, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the clear. Levanos is a pretty easy boss if you practice enough. So don't feel intimidated. Just go in there, solo first, solo. Practice, see what he's up to, and then try to get into learning parties and get a group together, and you guys can knock him down. I promise. He's not as difficult as people make him sound. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a Merry Christmas. It is that time of the year. And otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.